Welcome back, everyone. Today we have an exciting video. It's a follow-up on the Smith Mainline from a year ago, maybe over a year ago, I don't remember. But I've had a couple requests for this follow-up video. I just never wanted to do one after 3 months of owning it. I felt like something over a year would be more relevant. But here it is. It's still in its glory. It still looks good. Still fits great. Haven't had any issues with this helmet, and the small gripes that I do have with it I'll go over with you, but the finish still looks good. You know, there's a couple of dings here and there, and I added this fake vinyl carbon fiber thing just for looks, which isn't anything. I guess it makes you faster if you look fast. That's the theory. I'm still running the original pads that came with it. I haven't changed them out, and they're still holding up, and they don't smell or anything like that. I have washed them a couple times. And the MIPS liner is still a MIPS liner, hasn't really changed much. But I'm going to go over some of the things I've changed here and some of the questions and comments I've had in the comment section and kind of address what I can. If you guys have any questions, just go ahead and feel free to comment, and I will go ahead and answer any of your questions. So I'll start off with the good. So we've been riding this helmet in South Florida since I first did the video. We have a lot of climbs down here, and it gets very hot, and for the most part it's a fairly well ventilated helmet. With that being said, in our summer season here in Florida, this helmet gets hot. I don't care what kind of helmet you're on, they're always going to get hot, and this one is no exception. Although I will say, when you get moving and you're riding through the trail at a moderate speed, these vents do cool you down quite a bit, and I still feel the same way about it that I did the first day. It's a very cool helmet compared to a lot of other helmets out there that are full face. Now mind you, on most of my summer rides, I did start wearing the POC tactile helmet. Tactile? I think that's how you pronounce it. The half shell helmet, just because it gets a little too hot for this thing, and I've gotten very comfortable with my riding to where I don't feel that I need the full face unless I'm doing some crazy stuff like jumping or trying to be a hero. So the double D-ring setup here is actually quite easy to use with gloves once you get used to it. Like I said, I've owned this helmet for a year now, and it used to be, when I first rode this helmet, I would get into a panic on those hot days because you would be sweating and you'd be super hot, and you would get into a panic trying to take this helmet off, and you'd rip your gloves off, and now you're sitting at the trail and everyone's looking at you like you're crazy. As time has gone on, I've been able to unclip this, pull this tab, and it releases this, and it actually makes it pretty easy to get off. And it's all muscle memory. Once you get used to using this system, it does get easy to get off your head, and you kind of lose that panic sense when you're trying to get it off and you're sweating your behind off and you think you're gonna die because it's 98 degrees out with, I'm exaggerating, but feels like 100% humidity down here. The pads, these pads have been really good. They're still the originals, haven't changed them. And you know, the issues with this helmet have been minimal, but I'll go ahead and go over them with you because I can go on and on about the goods. It's all the same as the original video, which I'll link up in the corner here. The bad things that come with this helmet. So a few things that I've noticed. This visor, it's really good, but I've been having an issue with these screws coming loose. And I've noticed a lot of the time when I'm riding, these things will come loose, and I'll give you an example. I don't know if you can hear that, but when you're riding the trail, this thing will do this the whole time. And I haven't lost any of these because the second I start hearing that rattling, I'll go ahead and I will tighten it up and make sure that it's snug down when I stop at the trail. And you can do these easily with your finger or a flathead screwdriver, but that's one thing I have noticed, is that these things do come loose quite a bit. Now, I ride the helmet with it in the up position a lot of the time for the extra airflow. Unless it's sunny out, then I'll bring it down. But when you move this up and down, sometimes it'll loosen these and you'll end up with that issue. Not a big issue, not a deal breaker, but one of those things to keep in mind when you're riding this helmet and you hear a little bit of rattling. Alright, so the first issue that was mentioned in the comments were the D-rings. Are they a headache to use? they're a little cumbersome, but not a reason not to wear the helmet. I think it's a little more secure feeling than the fidlock. I love fidlock, but I have noticed that with some people that are wearing some of the Fox helmets with the fidlock, if they damage that fidlock, you're kind of screwed and you have to buy another helmet. So versus this is reliable, it's tried and true, and it works. You know, you just have to practice at getting it on and off quickly. When we stop at rides and we take our helmets off, because it is Florida and it's hot, I have it on and off just as quick as everybody else. I mean, yeah, obviously a class is going to be quicker, but not a reason to put this helmet aside and say, hey, I don't want to ride it. The other question that I got was, does this helmet give you the bobblehead look? And I think what they were referring to is some of us that are smaller framed, we're not big guys or girls, does this helmet give you the big head look like you do with some other helmets? For example, that POC Air Coran that we reviewed originally, it's a really safe helmet, but it's a little bit bigger and it makes your head look big. And if you're a small bodied person, then it's gonna make you look like a bobblehead. So no, this one does not. It's a lot more slim looking and has a smaller profile, so shouldn't give you that look. The other one was color options. So when I first bought this helmet, they didn't have that many color options. It seemed like black was the only one they had, but I want to say 6 months after I had this, they came out with the white, which is all white with black, which is awesome. That's one of my favorite ones. They come with an orange one, and I believe the other ones, they come maroon color. So that's what you have for color options. Not a lot of options, but you have some. Let's see, our other question was GoPro mount and light mount. So a lot of people mount their GoPros on the bottom here on the chin, or like I did on the visor. Now I found this to be the best spot to mount things for this helmet. Obviously you're gonna have to run that visor higher, but I'm using the GoPro to record now, so obviously can't show you what the GoPro looks like on there, but I will show you what the light looks like. And this is a Lumina Micro 900, which is a really cool light. It's really, really bright and it works perfect for our night rides here. And I strap the light just like that, and it seems to work just fine. Now you can adjust it quite a bit, and if you have to drop the light down a little bit, you can always drop the visor and you get more of an angle downwards towards the trail. But this seems to work really well, and when you're riding, it's out of your field of view. I mean, you see a little bit, you see the blue dot when you're riding, but it's not distracting, it's subtle, and it seems to work really, really well. And it's kind of stealth looking, if you don't mind me saying so. The GoPro is a little bit different because it's a little heavier, and it's going to weigh this down a little bit. It's going to give your helmet some weight and you're going to feel it. This one not so much. So that's where we mount our light and how we use that. Now some people have mounted them on the sides. I think this is the most sleek position for your mount. Our next question was, do I find these cheek pads to be too tight? I don't think so. I think that these cheek pads are perfect. They do come with 3 sets of cheek pads, and I'm using the middle set ones. And they are a little bit worn in. At first they were a little snug, but they're not bad. Now if I were to go to use the bigger ones, then obviously it's going to make the helmet a lot more snug, and it's more suited for somebody with a smaller face that's wearing a bigger helmet. They do have some really, really thin ones too, but those are way too thin. I just threw those out. I had no need for them just because I wasn't going to use them. There was another comment made in there that was asking if when I have the helmet on, can I move it up and down easily like this once it's strapped on my head? And the answer to that is not really. If I have this snug down pretty snug the way it's supposed to be with the proper cheek pads, yes, you're always going to have a little bit of motion, but you shouldn't be able to slide it completely up and down like this. You want to have a little bit of move because of the nips, but it should be somewhat snug the entire time. If there's an issue with that, you might have the wrong size helmet, or you might need the thicker pads. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's the way I feel about it when it comes to these helmets. But leave it in the comments and say, hey, look, I don't agree with you, whatever the case may be, but that's my feeling on that. But so far, That's really all the only things I really have to answer on from the comments. So would I suggest this helmet to people to ride? And the answer is yes. I think it's been a great helmet for the past year, and hopefully for the next year or so, unless I for some reason feel it's necessary to replace it because it's old or it cracks or breaks. And so far I'm pretty happy with it. Now I'm not going to do a review on these goggles quite yet, but I do want to show you guys what it looks like with the Smith Mainline, not the Mainline, these Smith goggles, the Squad goggles, if I can get them out of here. But they actually look pretty good on here. And amazingly enough, I didn't think that goggles would be that ventilated, but they are. And they look pretty good. I don't know what you guys think, but I think it looks pretty sharp. Everything, besides the zebra thing on here, but I got these on sale, so figured I'd rather save 40 bucks than go for something that doesn't have the zebra stripe and pay an extra 40 bucks just because I like to be price savvy. But I hope you guys enjoyed the follow-up review on this helmet. If you have any questions, please message me on Instagram or leave us a comment, and I'll try to answer every question you have. But if you guys are looking for a full face, give this helmet a shot. I've recommended it to a lot of people and they've been very happy with it, with no regrets. Even though it is a little bit more of a premium cost item, in my opinion, there is no premium cost to the safety of your head. So if you feel like your safety is #1 priority and you want to have a well ventilated helmet, go ahead and give this one a shot and let me know what you think of it. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you guys get out and ride.